Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining. As usual, the call is public and recorded. It's the OpenONU call, and please be mindful of the comments you make and information you share. I'm sorry if there is a little bit of background noise from today's call. The first thing that I wanted to talk, this is a batch that was just submitted by Michael, and it's about the TCD storage of flow rules. Michael, do you want to give us some thoughts on this?
Unmute. This patch is delivered based on some findings that we had in our regression tests. There were sporadic issues where we experienced data in the etcd storage after the subscriber removal that shouldn't be there. And after checking that, it turned out that this correction must be supplied to ensure that the flows are correctly removed from etcd with the according flow removal activity. This is kind of sporadic in our regression test due to the AT&T scenario, where the flow removal is always accompanied by an according new flow add for the ER-POL flow. And this activity sometimes hides that the etc data is not correctly cleared up. So that gets visible quite clearly in the Deutsche Telekom scenario. And therefore, we also created a new story to create a robot test case for this scenario, where we can check this behavior more explicitly.
Okay, thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. Any question or any comment? This is all. This is fine by me. We can also put it into 2.8. It's totally okay for me.
Yeah, I already delivered a patch for 2.8 as well. So this is already prepared.
Thanks. Yeah, I saw that. As soon as this one gets merged, given that it's the same exact approach. So if anybody has some time, please do review this. Put a +1 whenever another +1 comes in. Okay. Any questions or comments for Michael on this one? Okay, no, thanks. We for the regarding the testing, I do expect that to come from Thursday at some point in time. There is really no rush on putting it in, but I think it's good we have it. Okay. So next up on the agenda today, I wanted to discuss what I think is the roadmap for 2.9. Let's keep in mind that 2.9 is going to be in December, so it's 6 months release. We're almost already gone a month until the release, so we have around 4 months of development time and 1 month of code freeze for the release. Some elements that we put in are the flow configuration sequence. This is moving things to a queue-based approach. It's not going to be that simple, but I believe we ought to do this because this is mandatory for solving some of the locking issues that we have seen into 2.8. And in the same time, a good thing to do would be to split the code into separate modules And this goes back to the discussion we had about logging, and that is because we wanted to have better logs for the LT adapter or new adapter, especially having the capability to configure which package could log at a certain level. So this is part of that. I assigned this to the folks of Adjan and ONF. Um, would that be okay, Michael? Uh, do you think you and Holger could work on this maybe with the help of me and Krish?
Yes, I think should be possible.
Then there is thanks. Then there is another element which is the multi-unit configuration improvements. That they are working on it. They are working on this, and that they plan to upgrade this for the fixes that they want to do. Then we also
Andrea?
Yeah, he's been breaking up quite a lot for me as well.
Yeah.
is there any question on the multi-UNI configuration improvements?
Yeah, we lost you like for 30 seconds or so. You still there?
Oh, sorry about that. No, I was just saying that. And yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, now, yeah.
You keep dropping in and out.
Okay, perfect.
Connection
No, I was
is
saying that
really bad.
Yeah, yeah. Until he's there, you know, I'll just keep hosting this call. So when he is back, fine, then he can take over. So regarding the multi-unit configuration improvements, there is a patch from Maher. Last time I saw it had a WIP. Oh, I think it dropped off. Let me host. You can see my screen, I believe. It had a WIP tag. So Maher, how far are we on this patch? Is there any comment to be addressed, or is it good to merge? Is Maher on the call?
No, I think Mahir is not in the call, Girish. There's vacation in Turkey.
Okay. Do you want to take over?
Yeah, sure, thanks.
Okay.
Um, I hope it doesn't cut out again. There is an important.
Yeah, but is this just had a question about this? So is this good to merge now, or there is still some work to be done?
I think there is still some work to be done and some testing to be done. I believe the patches are still in work in progress state, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not ready at all. I think they need some work. Mahir was planning to work on them, but this week again is vacation in Turkey, so I don't think they're gonna work on it. But it's somewhat small improvement that we can definitely put in master, and then check if we want to put it into 2.8 or not.
Yeah, I think we are losing him again. Okay, so there is another item here, discussion for internal Volta system events handling. I'm not sure what this was. Any idea, Mikhail or Holger, about this?
Not really. Um,
Okay, anyway, I will let Tangia comment when he is back. Extended message for image update. So I think we have support for extended OMCI messages now, but we are not using that, I believe. I think that's the idea of this feature.
yes, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, also I'm adding the other extended messages, so we won't have to do, once we determine that extended message set is supported, then you can use those for all messages if you so deem.
Yeah, sounds good. I think that would be especially useful for the PMs, given that we are pulling PMs in multiple parts. So OMCI FSM timeout. So sorry, there was one more. ONU upgrade improvements, reason display supporting of existing ONU image activation and commit. The next one is OMCI FSM timeout supervision, OMCI processing robustness. Any idea what this was?
Yes, we have introduced already some start and stop handling for OMCI in release 2.8, but the implementation is not yet complete. So far, I think we still allow different, let's say, end users of the OMC channel to send independently, with the effect that you can send multiple transfers on the OMC channel, and the real stop and go, or what it is called in OMC, defines that you have the window size of just one. And if we want to do that, we have to introduce some changes for that. Also, part of this change will be, or could be, that we introduce a prioritization of the two different priority levels of the OMC channels, the OMC channel, and this would allow to have a prioritization of for example, configuration messages against, for instance, upgrade messages.
Yeah,
so that would be part of this work.
Yeah, I think the next one is an
this is
extension of what you said, OMCI prioritizing.
Okay, this is an extra point. Okay, fine.
Yeah, the PM reset of counters and extensions for other PMs. So I think this is in the context of the first one, the reset of counters is in the context of extended PM support. We currently do not support reset. It's a free running counter. I think the idea here is to be able to reset those counters and fetch again, fetch a fresh set of counters. Extensions for other PMs. Yeah, this is something that we are talking to Paul Wagner from DT to get an idea of what's remaining to be done, any improvements that could be done on the existing PMs. This is, we are still in the requirements gathering process for this one.
Yeah, I don't expect anything to come out of that one, to be honest. So I did a review of the existing spreadsheet that we have,
Mhm.
and honestly, there might be like one or two minor things that are missing from the OpenONU adapter. Something might need to come in the OpenOLT adapter, but mostly is going to be done by the DMI. So I expect this to be, if any, minor work.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I already made some proposal for the existing after the discussion with the extended PM counters for the ONU. So if that is not supported to fall back to some of the simple PM counters. So that would be some of the possible extensions I see here.
Thanks. The next one is stop and wait message or protocol needs extension for Windows size 1.
So
I
this
have,
is the
okay.
point that I already mentioned in
Mhm.
the respect of what was it? OMSI timeout supervision, OMSI processing robustness. So I guess these points are belonging together.
Okay.
Yeah, and with the if we change over to gRPC instead of Kafka, and the stop and wait protocol may become more important because some ONUs are really reliant on the OLT behaving correctly.
Okay. I cannot edit this document for some reason. Andrea, do you mind, putting that point?
I'll do it. I'll do it, Girish, no problem.
Okay, storing of unknown MEs. Yeah, this is again put on low priority. Yeah. GPON and XQ. Go ahead.
The storing of unknown MEs is an old element that we had since effectively like a couple of releases. And that was not really needed and up until now. The idea is that we can store elements that are vendor specific. So
Mhm.
whenever we have the MIB,
Upload. Yeah.
whenever we have the exchange and we have the MIB template, we can reuse some of those, and so the synchronization can happen also on vendor specific things. A minor thing, if we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, we don't. Right.
Okay. The GPON and XGS-PON encryption setting. Yeah, I mean, this exists as of the option to configure encryption in the gem exists in the TP temp in the tech profile, but I don't think we are using. We do, pass this parameter down, right? I mean, as far as I recall, aren't we doing this already?
So I am almost certain that the GPON side of it is actually done, at
Okay.
least on the PON port of the
Okay.
OLT. I'm not sure if we can do anything else in the ONU adapter. Michael, do you know what this is? Do you know anything more about it?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that we need to investigate. I believe we already, support encryption. Needs to investigate, what else needs to be done here.
Yes, at least in case of XJS PON, we have to do something. There is a parameter I think in the tech profile. So if we speak about encryption here, we mean GEM port encryption. So GEM port specific setting of the encryption. And for XGS PON, there needs to be an according OMSI information for that. And this, in my point of view, is not yet implemented. So XGS PON encryption setting, in my point of view, shouldn't work as per today.
Okay. Yeah, that was my same understanding. I think the GPON is actually working and is present. The XGS PON needs coding because it's not there, and that is why I put it as a possible / low priority, because really everything that goes into the deployment now is GPON. I just don't like having something done in half, and we should actually do XGS point as well, because otherwise the functionality is not complete. But that's why I put it as a possibility.
Okay.
The last,
Mhm.
the last element on the list for features is a possible thing. I have yet to discuss this with Deutsche Telekom. It might be that we need to investigate DPU support, so that we can handle DPU for VDSL and other type of technology. Um, I know DT was interested and is interested in this. I don't know what the priority of it is. So next week I will know more, because I have an operator TST meeting with them, and I will ask them if this is a priority for them or not. So that's it on the DPU support. I just put it at the bottom. If there is more that we need to do, we will bump it in priority if DT thinks that is higher. Okay.
Yeah, we need to look at testing as well. I mean, at least here in the Menlo, we don't have the hardware. Probably all testing will happen in Berlin now.
In Berlin, we do actually have, if I'm not mistaken, an Adtran DPU that we can possibly test with, but it is not wired. It's not wired. There is really nothing we can do with that at the moment. We need to like wire it completely.
Okay. Yeah, the next item is test, get set external OMCI attributes test. What is this one?
Also, so that one is in relation to the existing, values that you can get and set via the external OMCI attributes. We have the capability to do these set operations and get via this get external bottom-up message, and I just wanted to do something that we never actually check.
Okay. The Go profiling test, no memory leaks. At least in the last release, I ran the data race, ran the OpenONU image with the data race enabled. I did find some race conditions and I fixed them, but yeah, I have not done any tests to detect memory leaks. So this is something to consider in this. Further ONU software update tests, further tech profile tests, PMX test extensions, storing of unknown emis. Yeah, these are all the items to consider for tests. Andrea, probably you have more context about this.
Yeah, I know that the further ONU software update test, I know Torsten already started doing something like this. One patch was merged today. So I'm not sure exactly to which extent you guys want to include all of this. Torsten, do you have any updates?
Okay, you are very hard to understand today, Andrea. Sorry. Yes, ONU software update. I made a first test extension for the failure of download of images. And in the next time, I will do some further tests where we various flags for activate and commit. And I will do in the next time, or with other words, I should say currently I'm working on a test. It's not mentioned here. It's a further flow check test or VLAN rule check in the etcd data. And Yes, that's all at the moment.
Sounds good. Thanks, Torsten. Let me go back to the agenda of this meeting. Yeah, you have, everyone has the link to this roadmap that Andrea has made. So when you have time, please do go through this again.
Girish, one short question. The date, is this correct? 2020?
No, that should be 2021.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, we don't want to go back there.
Oh,
Okay. AT&T issue with the CERTCOM ST01 ONU. This is something the Radisys folks reported when testing the ST01 ONU with the Radisys cheap-on OLT with AT&T workflow. They noticed that at some point the ONU stopped responding to the OMCI messages after enable ONU or after unprovisioning the subscriber. The issue seems quite random, and they were seeking our inputs, especially Mikhail's expertise here. We are still looking into this one. Yeah, I mean, the logs seemed a little incomplete the last time they shared the information, so we have requested more logs from them. This issue aside, I mean, the ST01 works fine with the DT workflow. It's just with AT&T workflow, I think we are seeing the problem.
there's a couple of interesting points that Radis shared with me about this. It seems that whenever they do manual testing, meaning manually executing the set of steps that cause the issue, they don't see the issue, which is very odd. So it could be a timing problem. And the other thing is that it happened of the ONU or enable disable of the pod. So what that tells me is that I fear some cleanup is not properly and completely done. And why do I say that? I say that because with the Deutsche Telekom workflow, we actually do device delete whenever we disable the device and the ONU goes away. We actually delete it from Volta and it comes back again. While with the AT&T workflow, which is where this Zircon fails, we don't do that. So that is somewhat of something that makes me think that some cleanup is not properly done, and that in that respect we send something down to the ONU that the ONU doesn't like. I don't know if I'm making sense. This is my observation.
Yeah, yeah, DT work. I mean, these workflows are quite orthogonal to each other in terms of certain steps that we do. So, yeah, it makes sense. The next one is testing. Test to verify data plane is not interrupted during.
Girish, I think unless Thorsten has some update on this, we can actually skip it because we talked about testing in the other part. I need actually to take this out. Thorsten, do you have any update or anything that you want to discuss in terms of testing with the group?
No, at the moment not, because I already said what I do currently. And to all the tests are here, I am not included in. So where is it now?
Okay, thanks. I think it's fine. We're gonna put some of the things on the roadmap here as soon as we have it and finalize
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Right.
This point is already being fixed, but I just wanted to let everybody know about the conclusion. Um, Chip and Michael and Krish can talk more about this if they want, but the issue was that there was an element in the MCI spec that was numbered as 4 to 6, while instead it should have been 4 to 5. And obviously, correctly, Chip, looking at the spec, coded it into the library as 4 to 6. But then we looked at the spec again, and in a newer version of the spec, and in an older version of the spec, 4 to 5 was the actual attribute. So the value would needed to be changed to 4 to 5. This has been done in OMCI Go, and the new version of OMCI Go has been used in the Volta 2.8 version of the adapter and in the Volta master version of the adapter. So I think we are good to go on this front. We have still noticed that even with 4 to 5, we cannot get the counters from Alpha and Iskatel for several reasons. We can get the counters from Circle, so at least from a Deutsche Telekom perspective, that is fine. Anything, guys, you want to update on this?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it seems like the alpha and the Iskretel ONU may not support fetching these counters from the PPTP uni attachment point. And maybe they support on the Mac bridge ports attached to the bridge. So, I mean, that's just my feeling. I mean, be, I haven't been able to, haven't contacted Alpha or Iskretel folks to debug this further, but at least it works with the Circom ONUs with the two models, the glass fiber and the ST01. Mikhail or Holger, whenever you get a chance, if you can test with Hydron ONUs and let us know how it works, that would be great.
Yeah, I think that's a good action item that we need to put there. Just add run to test with that run menus. I would say with Volta 2.8 that would be fine. Whenever the new version of the OLT, the Ultra OLT adapter comes out.
I have a question, Andrea.
Sure, go ahead,
Will it,
Imani.
do we still need to make changes in the protos and make the counters optional and get rid with the max value -2 option as suggested by everyone?
That's a good question. I'd like to avoid as much as possible changes to the protos now that we are moving from Kafka to gRPC. We could do them maybe after that, but I'm open to suggestions. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Andrea. I mean, it's not very critical. Uh, we can revisit that. I mean, just create a Jira and revisit that later in the release. At least we don't forget that by creating Jira.
Okay, good. On the multi-UNI support, we talked about this. There was an open point, which was the element around the logical port creation, extending the bits. We decided that we wanted to move it over to 2.9 and not do it into 2.8. So that I got, we got just got skipped. Um, but if anything needs to be done here at the moment, I think Mahir will work on this as soon as he finishes the work that we were discussing. I would say this is not out of the highest priority because I don't think Netsia is hitting the limit right now, or Turk Telecom. But this might come in handy if we do the DPU support. Any comments or anything on this topic here? Okay. So that was all I had on the agenda for today. I wanted to discuss, bring up the roadmap, and bring up the other things that we were we discussed. I'm open to hearing anything from all of you guys. So, what is there anything that you guys want to discuss or want to bring up um, to the group? No. Okay, then if not, I think we can get some time back to our day, and I'll talk to you again next week. Next week I will have even a better picture of the roadmap. I don't think it's gonna change too much, but if anything changes, I will update everybody on that. Okay, thanks everybody. Talk to you again later. Cheers. Bye bye.
Bye.
Andrea.